Welcome back to the morning show. Our guest is Bob Zdora of the Z Team with Century 21 LeMac Realty.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and they're here to talk about this week in real estate. But off camera, we were just talking about taking care of your home in this heat if you're selling it and you're leaving it vacant.
Yep.
I mean, touch on that.
If your home is vacant, if you have a summer home, maybe any type of property, when it's this hot, you need to make sure that because of like the storms that we had a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
people had circuits that may have popped in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's nobody there to reset that circuit, and if the air conditioning isn't working, when it's this hot and this humid, you can have some pretty serious structural issues as well as moisture issues. You can have mold, mildew that'll develop very quickly without the air conditioning going, without air moving in there. Even if you have the air conditioning on low, leave a ceiling fan on. For the couple dollars that it costs, believe me, it'll pay off, because you can have issues with the drywall. You can have your tape can start to separate from the drywall. That's going to affect your paint job. It's going to affect everything. We went out yesterday and rode our couple of vacants that we have, where the people have moved on to other homes, and one is in an estate that's waiting to close. It's going to close in this week. It was supposed to close this week, and it's going to close next week. So we went to check again just to make sure that nothing happened, and just make sure that the air conditioning is on, that the gutters don't look all clogged up with all the stuff that's come down over them. Some of the outside maintenance, you may have somebody cutting your grass, but that's all they're doing. They're cutting your grass. They're doing a great job of cutting your grass. Not saying anything bad about lawnmower guys, but there's other things that may be going on that they really don't care about.
Yeah.
So you need to be aware of that. And if you have a place somewhere, especially if you have neighbors, call the neighbors and ask them to stop by, take a look. They generally have a key. If the home is for sale, call your realtor and say, hey, have you stopped by the house recently to take a look and see how things are going? Make sure that the air conditioner is on. Make sure that like I say, if you had a power surge, make sure that those circuits are reset. A lot of these newer circuits they pop real easy, like the ones in the bedrooms and stuff like that. If you look at them sideways, they're out.
Right.
But if there's nobody there to reset it, that fan isn't running.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that you need to be aware of to make sure that your property stays in the condition that you left it, and to make sure that everything is running the way you want it to.
Well, and you had mentioned, then I didn't even think of it, to go ahead and run the faucets.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if the water evaporates in the P-trap and you have no water in there, you get smelly stuff.
Yep. And so when yesterday we were doing it, that's one of the things we did. We ran water down all the sinks in the bathtubs. We flushed all the toilets just to to refresh that water that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Little critters and things that may wander through the house, stop for a drink. You don't want them even sitting in the bowl down there. So you flush the toilets, water down the drains, the kitchens, bathrooms, everything else. And that's an important part of the process. You have to, a home is a living being, and they have a tendency to sometimes punish people for leaving them alone. They get lonely.
Right.
And they get into,
Right.
they get into mischief. So you want to make sure that they don't feel so bad and left alone, that they are still special.
Yeah. You're right about that, though. When you leave a house vacant, it falls apart.
It does. It's amazing.
It needs you there to maintain it.
In a heat like this, it doesn't take very long either.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, especially if your AC, for some reason, the breaker pops, your AC quits, something happens. That AC is what's keeping that humidity from building in that house.
Yes, indeed.
And once that humidity builds, like you said, the drywall tape starts coming apart, or where your little drywall screws, your heads are, they will start popping off the paint.
Or they'll start to rust through. I mean, I've seen them that where they've rusted through from the moisture in the air.
Right.
So things to just be aware of, and things that we have gone and taken care of for our clients, because that's what we do. You want to make sure that the house, and even if you're living in it, sometimes people don't think about things. We had, with the storms we had a couple of weeks ago, the circuit for if you have a sump pump in the house, you want to make sure that that's gone. I mean, who goes down into their crawl space, especially when it's 100 degrees, to say, well, yeah, is that sump pump working down there? No, nobody does that. But you can check your box and see, make sure that, and if it's just like ticked a little bit, it's popped. So turn it off, turn it back on, and just make sure everything is working for you, electric-wise and in the other ways. Like I say, you want to make sure that you don't have things growing up in the gutters. Make sure that the driveway looks good. Keep the place up. Make sure the grass is cut, because people are still coming down to look. There's more homes on the market, so there's a little bit of competition starting to come in. More homes are starting to get price reductions, so they're going to hit. Some of those are going to hit a price that's lower. Obviously, that's what the price reductions are for, to drop the price, but it may be dropped to a point that's more appealing to somebody who's looking for that type of house. They may not have wanted to spend that much money, or it may not have even come up in their search. People search in price ranges. So if you only search like up to 250, a house that may have been 275, you never saw that on your search. It never came into you through Realtor or anyplace else. They dropped the price to 249.
Yeah.
Bing. Oh. So
and that happens a lot, yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. Well, that's the purpose of price reductions, and it's not just, well, we'll drop it 10,000. Sometimes that's not worth doing at all, because there's windows on those searches. So you want to break down to the next window so that more people see them.
Yeah. So if it's 100 to 200, you're asking 229, and you dropped it at 219. They're still not seeing it in that window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a science to it, you know.
There is.
You know, it's kind of, I'm not going to say we're like Facebook or Google or anything, but there's a method to how all that stuff gets done.
Yeah, and it's very rare that somebody searching is going to go ahead and creep to that 200 to 300.
They'll cheat up 25 maybe just to say maybe we can put an offer in, but the way the market has been over the past couple of years, that wasn't the case. But sometimes they'll just kind of see, well, maybe we could afford a little more than we thought we could, and to look for other houses. But they're not going to jump 100. They're not going to jump 50.
Yeah.
Just, if they're serious buyers.
Yeah. So do you think with the way things are going that this price reduction is going to continue for?
Oh, I think we'll see it for a while.
Yeah.
I think that people that want to move or want to buy someplace else, they're looking at the way the market is. They're looking at the interest rates. They're looking at what it costs to get that mortgage and what it costs every month to finance that. We don't have as many of the $400,000 houses that people are going to spend $600-700 more to purchase every month. We're going to see more people putting more money down, which is going to help to bring the monthly payment down, and that's the best way to do it. Bring the monthly payment down. A 15-year is going to be cheaper than a 30-year. There's a lot to it. I'm going to tell you, go see your local banks. Local banks, I know you're tired of it. Local banks, go see Chris Nassari. Go see one of the mortgage brokers. Go see somebody who can walk you through this and say, look, this is where we are now. And they're going to tell you the same thing. I don't know where we're going to be in a month,
right?
But this is where we are now. If you're looking to buy, you need to get pre-approved. Some states I was looking earlier, you have to make like $30,000 more a year to be able to afford a house that you could have bought a year ago.
Yeah.
So that just kind of gives you an idea of what the market. And it's here, but our dynamics are a little bit different.
Yeah. How long does a pre-approval typically last?
Well, see, they used to be good for 60, 90 days. I mean, but I bet they're not doing 30 days now. They're probably at about 30, and to get that loan locked right away, when you find something, get your loan locked, because they've been cheating up more than they've cheated down.
Yeah.
And if it comes down, you can say, okay, fine, well, let's try to go for this one instead. But they have a tendency to go up, and I think that's going to be the case for a little while.
Yeah, and you have a lot of people that's been waiting because something comes on the market and it sells so fast.
Yeah.
And so they might be 6 months in of waiting.
Oh, yeah.
And if they haven't checked in 6 months, they better go in.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole
new ballgame.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to be fair to yourself. You got to know what you can do. You need to know what it is you can afford, so you're looking in the right area, or not looking. Some people are going to say, we're just going to wait. We can't do it. We'll stay in this house. They'll fix it up, touch it up, clean up, whatever it is they need to do. If you're renting, you got to kind of stay where you're at, because there's no rentals.
Yeah.
I mean, the rentals are really, really tough right now. And the rents have gone up appreciably. So you're paying as much in rent as you would be if you had a mortgage, but you can't find a house that you like
No.
to buy to pay the mortgage.
Which you'd rather do.
Which you'd rather, well, sure,
Yeah,
sure. You
yeah.
know, and that's a challenge, you know, and trying to find the right place for people, the right home for the right time of your life, because that right time of your life is changing for everybody constantly right now. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. And people's jobs are changing. More people are working from home. More people are traveling to places that they had never gone to before. Their job opportunities open up someplace else. People are a little less gun shy than it was. I mean, when we were growing up, as we were young married couple, as we were older married couple, I had a job, I had a career. Now more people look at it as a job than a career. And by doing that, okay, we're going to go to Denver. There's a job opportunity in Denver. And they're gone.
Right.
So,
stay there a year or two.
Yeah.
Find something
Find
else.
something
in a
else
different
comes
place.
up, you know. But there's none of the long-term commitment that
Used to be.
that
Yeah.
used to be. Yeah. It
You're
was a
right about
little
that.
different.
That's very
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got in this week in real estate?
This week in real estate, come back here. There we are. This week in real estate, there were 49 new listings came on the market, 3 commercial properties, 15 parcels of land, 31 homes came on the market. They range in price from $62,000 to $659,000. 8 of those 31 are taking backups already. There were 31 sales, 5 parcels of land, 26 homes sold. They range in price from $52,000 to $515,000. Average sale price this week was $240,000 with 78 days on market. Very small time on market. A total of $6.2 million in residential real estate closed this past week. 14 properties expired, 35 had price changes. So that give you an idea of where people that are trying to get ahead of this
Yeah.
are getting
It's a
ahead
good
of it.
idea.
Yeah, well, depends what you want to do. But because if you're waiting there saying, well, they told me that this house was worth, that's done. There's 105 pendings waiting to close. Currently, there's 196 homes on the market, so we picked up 6 more. Year-to-date comparison for this year, there's been 561 homes have sold for $123 million. Average sale price this year is $220,000. Average time on market is 85 days. For last year, there had been 586 homes that sold for $112 million. The average sale price last year was $191 with 96 days on market, and that dropped a little bit from the week before because we're starting to see it coming in. This is the buying time. This is when people are coming. They're looking to buy homes. They're looking to be here, get the kids into school, now's the time to move.
Summertime
It's going to be a little different this year as far as people just coming down to take a look and just falling in love with the place and going, this is it. The gas is going to affect it. People traveling, whether just taking a 2-day car trip or bringing their RV, whatever the case may be, I don't see as many. There's still boats around, but you don't see as many boats. I don't know. The red, white, and blue is this weekend. Get out and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. There's a lot going on over at ASU, and I know you guys have been talking about it, but this is a great draw for our community. Be aware that there's a lot of people that may not have ever been here before, don't know where they're going. So when they're only going 40 instead of 45, it's probably because they're looking for someplace and they're not really sure where it is, and they got the little the phone is chirping telling them turn left in 200 feet. So just be conscious and aware that there's a lot of people here that may not be as familiar with the area as you are. But I don't know that we'll be as packed as it was because it's expensive to drive.
Yeah. I hope people still come.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, to show the area often where you get
Yeah,
the people that, we get people that come here one time and go, this is it.
Right.
I mean, they know. It's like a wave that comes over. And we were the same way. When we were looking, and we came down when we got it, we looked up in southern Missouri a little bit, we came here, and we knew.
Yeah. That's how it happened with my father, my brother, when we came down here. And we stopped and got us a hot dog from the old bus station and drove out to Norfolk. And once we hit that bridge, and boom.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That's how we got here.
So,
Yeah.
and the number of clients that we've had that have had that same epiphany
Yep.
coming in It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to join part of that, because we are a worldwide company and we are a worldwide station with the internet and Facebook and every place else that people see us, give my honey a call. She's at 870-405-0793. The website is retiredtoarkansas.net. It's all been revamped. It's easier to search. There's some great information on there. Big thing is it's much easier to search, and all the testimonials are on there, and people like what we do.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you watching, and we'll come back after the break.